Coming up on RMU Live, drastic security measures are being taken for the upcoming Winter Olympics in Sochi, Russia. Anti-government protests are taking place in Ukraine. And a recap of this weekend's sports action. Stay tuned. Good afternoon and welcome back to RMU Live for Monday, January 27th, 2014. I'm Leah Fleischel.
And I'm Victoria Lomax. Here's what's happening now.
Our own Eddie Sheehy was outside of Nicholson earlier reporting on the toll the conditions have been taking not only on daily commutes, but supplies to combat this weather as well.
Some prolonged severe weather here in Pennsylvania, mostly snow and freezing temperatures. Some salt producers are having a very hard time keeping up with demands. Though western Pennsylvania is no stranger to snow, this continuous bombardment of dangerous weather has forced road crews to be out virtually around the clock. Officials were hoping that yesterday's temperatures would help melt a majority of the snow, but as you can plainly see around me, that was not the case. Crews are taking advantage of the snow breaks by pre-treating roads and preparing themselves for more to come. As I said earlier, the snow is taking a toll on salt reserves. In Hempfield, a community about an hour away, salt is dangerously low. Officials say they like to have on hand about 3,000 tons of salt, but right now are down to about 600 tons of salt. Here in Moon Township, we don't seem to have too much of a problem, and officials say the roads will be manageable for this upcoming situation. Reporting from RMU Live, Eddie Sheehy, back to you guys at the desk.
Thank you, Eddie. Be sure to stay tuned for Eddie's 5-day forecast later in the show to find out what surprises this winter season has in store for us this week.
Local fallen airman Captain Sean Ruane was honored with a funeral procession through Moon Township last Saturday. Captain Ruane and 3 other crew members died when his military helicopter crashed in England on January 7th. Firemen from Kennedy Township honored the Montour High School graduate as the motorcade went past their firehouse. Captain Ruane was buried with full military honors.
Only January and a significant number of accidents have already been recorded, including a big rig that overturned on Interstate 70 last night in South Huntington Township near mile marker 47. The wreck happened at about 5:30 p.m. and Interstate 70 was finally opened 5 hours later.
President Obama will be visiting the Steel City on Wednesday after his State of the Union address. Tuesday evening, U.S. Steel's Irving plant in West Mifflin will be hosting Obama to deliver his remarks on the economy. The steel plant produces sheet metal products from the steel slabs produced at the Edgar Thomson plant in Braddock. After his visit in Pittsburgh, Obama will travel to Prince George's County, Maryland, and then Milwaukee, as well as Nashville on Thursday. Have you ever wondered how Apple got its start? Well, you have your chance to find out as the co-operator of Apple, Steve Wozniak, is coming to Robert Morris Wednesday at 1 p.m. in the Sewell Center. He will be speaking on the birth of Apple, his relationship with Steve Jobs, and the controversy surrounding his former company. You can find all of the coverage of his visit at rmucenturymedia.com.
Police arrested Penn State Altoona student Vladislav Midhoff after finding a suspected bomb in his Altoona apartment. While investigating for marijuana, police found the bomb in a suitcase. The bomb was safely taken apart by the state police bomb squad. Midhoff was charged with possessing of a weapon of mass destruction and other weapon and drug offenses. No federal charges have been filed yet, though he remains in Blair County Prison unable to post his $500,000 bond. On Saturday, Allegheny County Mental Examiner issued a warning about heroin overdoses after 4 people had died within the last 48 hours. According to the medical examiner, 14 people have died from overdoses this past week, an alarming increase from the usual 1 to 2 deaths per week. The stamp bags containing the substance have been labeled Theraflu and have been found at all the crime scenes. Mayor Patuto issued the warning, quote, "It will kill you. The danger cannot be overstated. Those in possession of this potent formula are in danger of losing their lives," end quote. Pittsburgh police continue to investigate these occurrences. And as you all know, the Grammys were last night, and there were quite a few highlights of the evening. My personal favorite being the performance of Macklemore and Ryan Lewis.
I think I have to agree, Leah. That one was pretty great.
If those of you who weren't watching, if you don't know, 33 couples were married on stage by Queen Latifah, and Madonna even made an appearance. But there is way more to the Grammys than that, and for that we'll go to our package.
Random access memories.
The artist who took away the record and album of the year didn't sing a single note or give an acceptance speech. Daft Punk won the 2 coveted awards at Sunday night's ceremony. The silent and helmeted duo also performed their hit, Get Lucky, with Pharrell Williams and Stevie Wonder. Lord's hit Royals won Song of the Year and Best Pop Solo Performance. Speaking of royalty, Paul McCartney and Ringo Starr were honored with a Lifetime Achievement Award for their work with the Beatles, just days before the 50th anniversary of the Beatles' invasion of America. The Grammy Awards are known for interesting collaborations, like Metallica and classical pianist Lang Lang.
I now pronounce you unmarried.
But the biggest collaborations were the 33 couples who got married during the show, with Queen Latifah officiating and Madonna serving as maid of honor. Macklemore and Ryan Lewis helped out as well with their hit, Same Love. The duo took home the Best New Artist and Best Rap Album Grammys. On the country side, Casey Musgraves got Best Country Album and Country Song.
Oh my God, I can't even, but I got to make a record that I poured myself into and I'm so proud of.
Such a great night. Definitely a lot of variety. One of my favorite Grammys of all time. Coming up on RMU Live, we have details on security in Sochi for upcoming weeks, information about the protests in Ukraine,
and a story on yet another cruise gone wrong. Stay tuned.
Good morning, sunshine. Wakey, wakey. Text me. Are your parents home later? We can hang. LUV, love you. JK. Holla back. Holla back. Holla back. Are you with your friends? That's lame. We're in a huge fight right now. XO. What'd you dream about? Something I did? Are you on your way to the mall? I'm lonely. Nude pics. Send me some. Text me.
I'm starving. What's for breakfast?
Guten Tag!
Johannes, Ross!
I bring you arts-enriched Raisinblams, fortified with increased test scores and creative problem-solving skills.
It's good!
And good for you.
Bobby? Susie?
Don't worry, that's just the power of the art!
Feed your kids the arts. For 10 simple ways to learn how, visit AmericansForTheArts.org.
You ever think about buying a bigger place?
Just waiting for a visit from the credit fairy.
There is no credit fairy.
How else will I get a better credit score?
Look, you keep your credit card balances low and only open a new card if you really need it.
No fairy?
There's no magic to improving your credit, but there's help, and it's free. Go to creditfairy.org.
Yes, ready. Go get it.
Oh, come on, Randy. Animal shelter, here I come. And no, I'm not crazy or emotionally damaged. That's a stereotype. I just belong to a total loser. I'm a good dog. So if you want a pet, adopt. And if you see Randy, tell him he dropped his wallet.
The focus of the 2016 Winter Olympics has shifted from sport to security. The United States is in the process of moving 2 warships into the Black Sea. If ordered, helicopters could easily be launched from there to Sochi. Additionally, C-17 transport aircraft will be on standby in Germany and could be at the Olympics in approximately 2 hours. The U.S. has also talked about sharing its high-tech bomb detection technology with Russia. There is more concern for explosives due to radical Islamists who threatened attack on the Games. The State Department issued a travel alert last week for the region, warning Olympic attendees that bombings and abductions continue in Russia. CNN reporter Nick Payton-Walsh has an update on security for the torch ceremony.
The festive atmosphere here inside this stadium, that's not reflected by what we've seen in the town itself. The torch came here in a maximum security convoy from the airport. Nobody there to film it as it came in. And inside the stadium is where the parades happened. Outside, checkpoints, the police locking down the city for one simple reason: this is the hotbed of the Islamist insurgency in southern Russia, and where the threats against the games have been made by militants. Today we've seen an estimated 13,000 crowd gather inside here, but they were all bussed in on coaches as well from around the area. Tightly organized, tightly controlled, high security. That gives you an idea of how seriously the threat is taken by the Russian government itself. And ordinary people in the town around not involved, not the normal parade you expect for an Olympic torch, people lining the streets and waving it through. Everything inside here, everything under tight security. That's what people are worried about in Sochi, the threat that emanates from here, even though we're far to the east of southern Russia, well away from where the games will actually be held. Nick Payton-Walsh, CNN, Makhachkala, southern Russia.
Along with other security measures, all American athletes, coaches, and staff are being warned to not wear their red, white, and blue Olympic uniforms outside of the so-called Ring of Steel. According to State Department officials, U.S. security officials will attend events with the Olympians.
Following the Saturday mall shooting in Maryland, police identified 19-year-old Darian Marquez Aguilera of College Park as the man who entered the suburban Columbia, Maryland mall and fatally shot 2 employees before turning the gun on himself. Police are still trying to determine a motive for the shooting. Investigators have yet to establish any relationship between Aguilar and his 2 victims. In an effort to restore normality in the community, the mall reopened its doors yesterday. County Executive Ken Ullman told news cameras Sunday evening, "We may never be back to 100% normal, but we are a resilient community." 2 memorials will be held today at 1 p.m. when the mall opens.
An elementary school teacher was arrested in California under suspicions of lacing food with marijuana at a potluck dinner with her colleagues. Attendees reported feeling ill and were taken to the hospital. One woman tested positive for THC. Police said she allegedly confessed her involvement to attendees. Bail is set at $15,000. And in Arizona, inmates with destroyed American flags in their cells have been faced with the punishment of a diet of bread and water. Sheriff Joe Arpaio said inmates tore and stepped on American flags as well as threw them into the toilet. Arpaio is currently facing lawsuits. He is in his 6th term as sheriff.
More than 300 people on a Royal Caribbean cruise ship have recently been experiencing stomach illnesses. According to the cruise line in a statement to CNN, those who felt ill have been responding well to the over-the-counter medication being administered on board. The ship also skipped its scheduled stop in Haiti on Saturday and sailed directly to Puerto Rico to undergo extensive sanitizing. The cause of the illness is still unknown. A 12-year-old boy is missing after being snatched by a crocodile in the Australian outback. Police and park rangers have been searching the northern Kakadu National Park since Sunday after a saltwater crocodile attacked a group of 5 children swimming in a waterhole. One boy, aged 15, was bitten but was able to swim away. The search will continue through the week. Police say people had been warned against swimming in that area.
Anti-government protests are growing more each day as the second month of the Kyiv protest continues to rage. President Viktor Yanukovych's pro-Russian policies are the center point of the outrage, defying the Ukrainian people their desires to become a more European nation. Sparked mass protests in the capital city of Kyiv, where citizens have built barricades and a catapult to help hold their standing. Clashes with riot police are frequent. In recent days, the protest has been spreading throughout the country. It was reported over 1,500 demonstrators were engaged with fights in police paralleled rallies. Keep posted here to RMU Live for weekly updates.
According to interim president Andy Mansour, Egypt will be electing a president before voting on a parliament after the Egyptian army deposed Islamic president Mohamed Morsi in July. A timetable was agreed upon by political stakeholders and representatives to hold parliamentary elections. First, since Morsi was deposed, Egypt has been in a state of political turmoil. Army Chief General Abdel Fattah el-Sisi has said he would run for president if the Egyptian people wanted him to.
Coming up after the break, our own Kristen Kudlaw updates you in the weekend's Pittsburgh sports action.
And Eddie Sheehy tells us what to expect for the weather this week. Stay tuned.
here with Romo. How are you doing today, Romo? Great. All right, so Romo, just a few questions. How do you think the game is going right now for the Colonials? All right, on top of that, like, what do you think about the play of Paul Jones and his defense just demolishing Morgan State right now? All right, well, you heard it here first. Romo with his insight to the game. Back to you guys.
Be sure to tune in to Colonial Sports Center every Thursday, 9:30 p.m. on RMUCentralMedia.com and Channel 98 around the Moon Township area.
Romo, have you downloaded the app?
Roma, have you seen this app?
Hey, have you seen the app yet? No? Alright, put it down. I'll show you what you can do. All you have to do is install it, and it'll open up for you. My favorite part of it is the police blotter. Check this out. When you click into it, you're going to go right to the top left, and as soon as you click on it, everything will be there that you need, so you can stay safe.
Download the RMU Century Media app on the App Store. Romo likes it, and so will you.
Welcome back to RMU Live. I'm Kristen Coley here with your weekly sports wrap-up. Going into this weekend, the Penguins were coming off a back-to-back winning streak against Montreal and the New York Islanders and hope to continue that streak going into Saturday's game against Dallas Stars. Unfortunately, that wasn't the case. The Pens seemed to not be themselves as they ran out of gas with the Stars dominated on the ice. The Pens' more than reliable special teams seemed to be absent as two of Dallas's goals came on the power play, and those would be the turning points as the Dallas Stars shut out the Pens with a 3-0 victory. Sunday was a big day for New York as well as Carmelo Anthony played a huge role in the Knicks' victory over the Lakers with 35 points of his own. Anthony helped pull out the W with a final score of 110-103, which was the Knicks' second straight win following a 5-game losing streak. And in both wins, Anthony had a grand total of 97 points. Now, for those of you who were watching the Grammys last night, yes, there was a football game in Hawaii. Now, don't worry, I'm not talking about the Super Bowl. I'm talking about the Pro Bowl. Yes, the Pro Bowl. Now, calm down a second. The game that has always been known for a very less than satisfying performance went under major changes this year as the team captain Jerry Rice and Deion Sanders chose their team's schoolyard draft style, and it was welcome change as both teams were neck and neck. In the end, a DeMarco Murray touchdown in the final minutes gave Team Rice the victory with 22-21. Next Sunday, the NFL season will conclude with a battle in the Big Apple as the Broncos and the Seahawks face off in Super Bowl 48 at MetLife Stadium. Well, that's all we have for sports today. Now over to my favorite weatherman, Eddie Sheehy. Eddie, what's the weather going to be like?
Thank you, Kristen. We have a jam-packed show today, so unfortunately, all I'm going to be able to tell you is that it is going to be cold the rest of the week. I'm sure you could have guessed that. Today's temperature, as you can see, is about 16 with humidity at 33%. There is a good chance that there will be snow today, but don't worry, the rest of the week is clear of snow until you get to the weekend. So classes don't look like they are going to get canceled any point soon. Long story short, it is going to be cold. Thank you, everybody, for watching RMU Live. We are going to see you next week on RMU Live. Thank you. I don't know. Thank you.